Yo, what's up guys? So today I want to talk about how to overcome fear when you're skating. Now this is something that every skater deals with, and this is literally like the key to unlocking a new trick or to just progress in skating. Now obviously there's different fears for different obstacles. Typically, the lower impact obstacles don't have as much fear embedded in them, but more so just technical skill that you have to work on. For example, like a ledge trick. You might not be too scared of trying a new ledge trick. You just need to learn how to balance and get into it right. But with like a stair set or a drop, there's gonna be a lot more fear involved because you could potentially get really hurt. So I decided I'd give you just a quick overview of a thought process that I've been able to implement in my head that's allowed me to get a lot better at skating drops, skating down rails, skating things that I used to stray away from in the past because I was too scared to do them. So without further ado, let me just get right into it and say the overall idea here is to break down your tricks. Just like how you would when you're first learning tricks when on flat ground or whatever, you want to apply the same methodology to when you're trying a trick down a stair set, a gap, or a down rail, whatever. I guess maybe this doesn't work so much with a down rail, but particularly for like a stair set, it's really nice. Instead of just going from, let's say you ollie the stair set and then all of a sudden you want to try like a tray flip or some sort of backside flip or like a technical trick down it, you don't want to just go from 0 to 100. And this is something I learned because for years I would always just want to try to do like a kick flip down stuff, and so I would ollie the gap, the obstacle first, and then I'd go immediately into kick flips, and then I would spend hours just trying to land the kickflip down the gap or obstacle or whatever, and I'd get too tired. I'd end up hurting myself or just getting mad and giving up because I couldn't commit. So what I do now is when I go to an obstacle, and I've been able to skate a lot bigger obstacles now because of this, I'll do an ollie down it, and then immediately, if I have a trick in mind, I won't do it right away. I'll do kind of like a warm-up set. That way I get used to the stair set or the obstacle, and I build confidence. So what I'll do is I'll do an ollie, then I'll do a frontside 180. And how I do the frontside 180 is very specific. And I want to put a disclaimer before I say this, because how I do it is I land 90 on purpose. So let me put a disclaimer and say this will work in some cases. Some cases you probably shouldn't do this, especially if you're looking at a gap that's really long versus really tall. You're probably not going to want to get a lot of speed and land 90. That you might get hurt. But if you're looking at a stair set that's just really big but not too much length, this might be something perfect for you. And so what I'll do is I'll land 90, and then once I'm able to commit to an ollie 90 or like a 180 90, then I'll have the confidence to fully rotate the whole degree. So if that's confusing, I'll show you right now an example of the other month. I was skating at the local park. I was trying a back big spin down this 7 stair. And what I did was I ollied it. I did, my 180s like I was saying. And then when I wanted to approach this back big spin, I did it exactly like I was saying. I did a pop shove it and I landed 90 first. It took me a little bit to finally commit to the whole trick. But once I landed 90 here, this is when I had the confidence to fully land the trick. And so you'll see here I land 90, I slip out, and once the thing here with these obstacles is once you commit the first time and you see what it's like to fall, you'll be super confident to finally commit to the trick, right? It's just like anything else that you're learning. Once you fully commit once and fall, then you can see, okay, I fell, it wasn't that bad, now let me try it again. So that's the same thing here. I land the 90 and I fall, and once I fell, I realized it's not that bad. So then I go back, I do the rotation, I do the pop shove it, whatever, and I rotate a little bit more than 90, but not fully 180. And as you can see here, I fall again. But now I'm building this confidence. And so here's the last clip. I do the full rotation almost. It's like a 170, a little bit off from 180, and I'm like barely holding on. And then I wish I would have got the last clip because it was super clean. I landed beautiful rotation, but my freaking phone died. But as you can see here, I'm leading up to this process, and then I was finally able to land it. Now this might seem like common sense to you, but this is more of a mental routine that you need to go through, especially if you're trying kick flips down something. I would recommend you start with a warm-up routine with an ollie, and then work your way up with 180s, specifically a front 180 and a back 180. That way you can get comfortable with the obstacle that you're skating. You could understand the distance it takes to land the trick. You understand the speed you need to go at. You could understand the angle that you need to approach it, and all this. And this is by simply just doing the warm-ups. So never ever just go from an ollie to the actual trick that you're trying. you want to break it in a little bit. Hope that helps. Hopefully that wasn't too common sense. I feel like this is something that a lot of people could take a lot of value from, because I did myself. It took me a minute to finally understand it. Before I go too, you want to choose your tricks wisely, right? You want to choose tricks that you're actually comfortable doing on flat ground. And so this is something that I struggled with, because I thought kickflip was the perfect option because they're the most like basic trick, I thought, and I could do them really well on flat ground. However, I come to find out that, yeah, I can do them on flat ground, but there's still a lot of mistakes that I'm making on flat ground, right? So like now I'm at a point where I can go at any speed and I'll land bolts. I'm very comfortable with the trick. But before, I would kickflip and land too far on the nose. Maybe I'd land too far on the tail. Sometimes I just would jump too far forward and wouldn't land it. And so like I could do the trick, but I wasn't completely comfortable with it. And the speed was another issue too. So if you think you're comfortable with the trick, do a speed test and see how fast you can go and actually commit to the trick. That will help you when you're trying a bigger obstacle too, because you typically will need more speed. So those are just some bonus tips. Hopefully that helps, and see you guys next time.